My sister screamed get out at her own birthday party. My mother smiled, my father turned away. I didn't cry. I didn't plead. The next morning, I signed the deed of $30 million mansion in Malibu. Paid in full. I walked away quietly, like a riddle with no answer. My name is Nina Callahan. When I was a child, they gave me the room no one wanted, by the pipes, by the mildew. They said I was the strong one. So I learned to be silent. I paid for groceries when Dad lost his job and babysat Samantha through every storm. I thought loyalty would earn me love. Instead, on her 30th birthday, she screamed, "Get out." My mother laughed. My father turned away. I walked out in heels I had worn for them, and the very next morning, I stepped barefoot into my own oceanfront mansion in Malibu, worth $30 million paid in full. They still don't know where I went, but they will, because I kept the receipts and I turned silence into stone. The room to the left of the staircase was always mine. It wasn't really a bedroom, more like a storage nook someone had cleared out and tossed a mattress into. The walls were yellowed from humidity, and one of them had a crack that started near the ceiling and split all the way down like a scar. In winter, the radiator clanked so loud it sounded like it was screaming. In summer, the fan just pushed around hot air that smelled like wet plaster, but still, Mom insisted it was cozy, like a reading corner and a fairy tale. Samantha got the big room upstairs, 2 windows, both east-facing, so the sun kissed her awake every morning. She had a vanity lace curtains and posters of pop stars who looked nothing like us. I wasn't jealous, not then. I was tired of asking and getting half smiles, tired of hearing "You're the strong one, Nina," like that meant I didn't get to want anything from as early as I can remember. I was the one who knew where the Band-Aids were. I was the one who walked to the pharmacy when Mom had a headache. I was the one who had to miss school. If Samantha had the flu, she'd curl up on the couch, swaddled like a baby bird while I wiped her forehead and carried the trash out. And if I got sick, "Well, you'll bounce back, sweetheart," Mom would say, already checking her phone once. When I was about 12, I asked Dad if we could trade rooms just for the summer. He looked up from his newspaper and said, "Your sister's room has stairs. You want her falling down and breaking something." That was the end of it. No discussion, no compromise. My safety didn't seem to factor in when I tripped over the basement stairs carrying the laundry basket. A week later, I got straight as every report card every quarter. I volunteered at the library. I helped Mrs. Espinosa next door with groceries when her arthritis flared up. No one told me to. It just felt like what I was supposed to do. I thought maybe if I was good enough, I'd finally earn a place that felt like mine. Then came senior year. I'd spent the entire summer in the community center library prepping for my college applications. I wanted engineering. I love machines. I love the logic of it, the way things fit together. If you just studied hard enough, people didn't work like that, but blueprints did. When the Caltech acceptance arrived, I didn't open it right away. I held the envelope in my lap, breathing like something fragile lived inside it. When I finally tore it open and saw the words "full scholarship," I pressed the letter to my chest and laughed. A full ride, California. My life was about to begin that night at dinner. I waited until Samantha finished telling the story of her choir solo. She had everyone's attention, even Dad's, who rarely looked up from his plate. When the room finally quieted, I said it softly. "I got into Caltech, full scholarship." Silence, a full second of silence. Then Mom blinked. "California, that's really far, baby." Dad grunted, "Is that the one in LA, Pasadena?" I corrected. Mom wiped her hands with her napkin. "Well, I guess you'll have to figure out your housing and all that. We can't help with flights." "I don't need help. It's all covered." Samantha stabbed a green bean. "So you're just leaving?" "I'm going to college." "You're leaving me," she said, and that was the moment, not the letter, not the scholarship, that moment when she made it about her, when Mom reached over and touched her wrist and said, "She's not leaving you, sweetie, we'll figure it out." I didn't cry, I didn't yell, I nodded, excused myself and walked outside. There was no party, no cake, no congratulations banner. I packed my things in silence over the next 2 months. My room didn't take long. Most of my stuff fit in 2 suitcases and a laundry bag. Samantha cried when I rolled them into the hallway. She told me I was selfish, that the house would feel wrong without me. That Mom was already overwhelmed, but she didn't offer to help pack. The morning I left, Mom handed me a packed lunch, turkey sandwich, no mustard, just how I liked it. But her face was tight, like she was holding back 100 things. She kissed my cheek. Dad honked from the driveway. He wouldn't be getting out of the car, he said he was in a hurry. When I walked down the steps and looked back, Samantha stood in the doorway with her arms crossed. "You think you're better than us now?" she asked. I didn't answer, not then. The drive to the airport was quiet. Dad dropped me off at departures without turning off the engine. I hugged my duffel bag and stepped onto the curb as he pulled away. No wave, no goodbye. I flew across the country with a heart full of grief and hope tangled together like wire in Pasadena. The air was dry and the sidewalk smelled like jasmine in the mornings. My dorm room was tiny, but it had a window and sunlight poured in like a promise. For the first time in my life, the space around me belonged to me. But even then, late at night, I'd sometimes reach for my phone. I'd scroll through old texts, check voicemails I never returned. I kept my number the same for years. Part of me believed someone would call that one day they'd say the words I always wanted to hear. "We see you, Nina, we're proud." But the phone stayed silent, and so did I. I filled my days with textbooks, code, and cheap coffee at the University of California, San Diego. I felt like I had finally stepped into a life that didn't demand I apologize for existing. No one there knew I came from a family where silence was louder than praise. No one knew I used to sleep in a damp room beside a staircase. They just saw me a mechanical mind, a quiet girl with sharp logic, and in those classrooms and labs, that was enough. I worked part-time at a campus library to cover expenses the scholarship didn't. Nights were long, and I often fell asleep with my laptop still warm beside me, but it was a good kind of exhaustion, the kind that felt like movement, like maybe, just maybe, I was building something real. In my junior year, I landed a summer internship at a small software company in Solana Beach.